Peace, beautiful souls. So, welcome to my Ted I Release talk. And today we're going to talk about trauma, sexual trauma, and like the things that it can do. And for me personally, how it affected me in my life, right? So, one of the biggest things, which this is, okay, we're going to get into that later. One of the biggest things is that it caused me to I guess, repel men so much to the point that I convinced myself that I did not like men, like I wasn't attracted to men at all, right? There's a few things that happened with that. So for all of my life, really, besides like elementary school, and those weren't obviously real relationships, I dated women, and I kept saying that I was a lesbian, right? And a part of me knew that I did have an attraction to certain men, but I was just like, no, like that's a no. I could never be with a man, blah, blah, blah. And I was in therapy for years, like ever since I started in the army till a year after I got out. And there had been multiple times people, like my therapist would ask me, like, do I think that I'm a lesbian because of my trauma? And I'm like, no, because I liked women before any of that happened. And really, the first time I was ever assaulted, I was very, 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 very young. And one thing I always wondered also was, if I didn't get molested at such a young age, how would I be now, or at that time when I was thinking about it, would I have the same triggers? Would I still feel the same way about men and stuff like that? But I was always like, no, there's no way, because I did have an attraction to women at a young age as well. And so it used to make me I used to get really upset when people would tell me, oh, you're not really gay, you like men. And I'm like, how the hell are you gonna tell me? And blah blah blah. And I would get actually upset. And another thing that it affected my sexual life in general, because even me being with women, I still had so many triggers. I always felt like a disconnect with sex, with me, my body. I wouldn't be present in my body, if I was receiving affection and stuff like that. Even physical intimacy that didn't have anything to do with sex was really uncomfortable for me. And Okay, so I used to think something was really wrong with me, because I would literally not feel things, things that other people would say felt good or they liked. I would either not feel it, like you could touch me and it felt like nothing, or it grossed me out, and I really thought something was wrong with me. I would talk to my therapist about it. I would go to doctors, what the heck is wrong with me? And I had really low libido and stuff like that. And mainly that's because my root and my sacral chakra were closed, and I did have a lot of trauma stored in my body. And I realized too, in the times that I was being touched, molested, I would get it would be kind of like an out of body experience. I didn't want to feel that. So then my brain then switched everything, physical touch and sex. It was a trigger already. So I would leave my body. I wouldn't be present in my body. I'd be in my head somewhere. My body then associated sex and any type of physical intimacy with something to be afraid of. I wasn't safe is what I was subconsciously telling myself, but my body was reacting as if I was still in those situations. And that took a lot of healing with my sacral chakra. And I know I'm still in that healing journey, because ever since I've come into it, I haven't had much sexual experience after, since I've been moving from this healed space, So I'm very excited to see how that goes, the way I think and feel now and the healing I've done. But with the whole men thing, it's just been in this past year that I've allowed myself to accept the fact that I really am attracted to men. And let's keep in mind too, I also have learned and known that I am a sapiosexual, and we don't have to deal with the labels, but basically I need to be mentally and emotionally connected to somebody to have that type of arousal or interest on that aspect. I can't just go into stuff like that if I don't feel we're on the same level or we connect truly, But I'm just very grateful that I've done the healing and allowed myself to do that and take myself out of the box that I was placing myself in. And also I'm very grateful, even for my trauma. And like, it's so crazy. Like, it's not crazy at all, but I truly know and believe and feel wholeheartedly that every bad thing I've been through, like, it was for my growth. Like, and I'm very grateful for it, because say I didn't go through that and I ended up being fine with sex and with men and stuff like that, I probably would have had like a kid by now. And nothing to those who have kids now, but I know that where I'm at, there's things that I want prior to me getting there. And I know I've always had baby fever. I've always wanted to be a mom. I know I would have had a kid by now, but I wouldn't be able to be doing the things that I'm doing now, living the life that I'm living now. I wouldn't have learned myself as much as I have had I not gone through those things. And I just simply wouldn't be the person that I am today. Like, how compassionate I am, how I am able to relate to so many things. And not only because of those traumas, I've been through a lot in my life, and I'm grateful for all of it, because truly it has gotten me to the person that I am today. And I just want to say, like, if you are someone who has been through traumas, sexual traumas, any type of trauma, just know that, like, it doesn't have to make who you are in a negative way. Like, it doesn't have to keep you, you don't have to stay in your trauma self, in your survival mode self, if you get what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't have to ruin your life. It doesn't have to take over your life in a negative way. You can definitely transmute that energy. You can heal. You can get past the negative thoughts, the depression. Like, it caused me to have so much depression, so much anxiety, so much hate for the world. Like, I seen nothing good in the world for years of my life, and I seen all men as like bad beings, whatever you want to call it. Like, I was so filled with the trauma, and in such a negative aspect. I didn't have, like, I couldn't see things for what they really are. And I'm just here to say, you don't have to stay that way. Like, I really, I think I know I've said this before. I thought that the only way I could get over that pain and that trauma, that anxiety, that depression, was if I died. And once again, I've also said this before, I did have a spiritual death. I let go of that old thought pattern, that old mind, that old person that I was. I let that go. And that part of me did die, and I rebirthed myself anew. And it's just I just want to talk about it, because I was miserable. Like, I was literally miserable. I didn't understand why I had to go through all those things. I felt like it was all happening to me. I never looked at it as happening for me until recently, like within this past year, with going into my spiritual journey and my self-love journey, and just learning about the world, the universe, about who I am, what I am, more about God. I that's another thing. I was angry at God for so long, and I was like, how can such a powerful being allow all these things to happen, not only to me, but to many people, many women and men in the world. Many people in the world go through things like that, and I'm like, why? But I now know also, we once again plan all those things for us to wake up, to grow into ourselves, and it's just about us doing the work to get to that point, to remember and realize and see the other side of it, and not just look at it as something that happened to us that like destroyed our lives, ruined our lives and stuff like that. But I do want anybody, if you suffer with any type of like depression, anxiety, sexual things, like sexual dysfunctions or whatever, it can and will get better. You just have to, put in the work for it, and know that you do have the power to change all that. You don't have to stay that way. You don't have to stay stuck in that mode. And I just want you to know that you are loved, and I love you, and you can do it. We can do it, okay? And I'm just very proud of myself and everybody who's gotten through that. And even if you're not at the stage that you've gotten past that, I'm still proud of you too, because you are still here. You are still here fighting. And usually when people want to not be here anymore, it's not even that. They just don't want to feel the pain. And I promise you, you can get past that pain. You can transmute that pain into love, into understanding. You can transmute all of that energy. And yeah, I love you very much. The time's about to cut off, but if you have any questions or just want to talk, I am here. I'll be responding in videos and stuff like that. But yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you later.